I'm right back with another video. So it's like 10 something. I'm usually very precise when I give the time. I like to like look back on things and have precise moments, that I was thinking, about just absurd thoughts were coming into my mind. It's like every day I drink tea. I like tea a lot, and I was thinking, why don't they have like, a month just for urinary tract health, like, and I was thinking, they could have like yellow ribbons. It's an absurd thought, of course it is, but when you're sitting here with all this time on your hands, you get all kinds of weird shit that flows through your brain. But anyway, I was talking to a targeted individual today, and I was encouraging her to make videos, which I think all target individuals should make videos. I really do. I think they need to get their story out there and talk. God knows they're in the period, they're in a state of isolation, and what's around them, what's surrounding them, is a lot of rumors and gossip, and they don't get a chance to express their side of the story, and also, to kind of make a log. The videos are also a log, to help you, you know, refer back, to everything that you're talking about. Um, which I think is important. I think too many targets are silent, and they're also paralyzed. They're paralyzed because there's a lot of fear involved in being a target, and then there's also, some people are afraid to speak out. They're afraid to speak out, for fear of being judged, but they don't realize is that they're already being judged anyway. So you might as well be judged accordingly based on your own doings or what you do yourself than being based on gossip that has absolutely no substance. So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to her making her first video, and I'm actually quite pleased, that she was encouraged to do so by me. And I really do. I think it's a good idea, to talk about it, and I really think that more targets should just come out of the woodwork and just start expressing it and just expose everything that's going on around them, because they're put in a situation. There's a lot of targets, they're hesitant to talk about people. They're like, well, I'm afraid to say something. What's going to happen? What's already happened? Look what they've already done to you. You know what I mean? So you might as well go out and talk about it, and name your perps. Like I said, don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, I do have a lot of time in my hands, and a lot of targets do as well. And so I try to, today was a complete waste. I mean, I didn't do a darn thing. And I kept thinking, should I change my clothes today? And that's ridiculous, isn't it? But I'm the kind of person, I like to put on something fresh every day. But I did put on something, and it didn't even match. I mean, I don't like looking like that. I really don't. But I was just like, well, the weather's fluctuating. Sometimes, in the mornings it's kind of chilly, and then all of a sudden by afternoon it's kind of warm in the house. And so I was like, okay. Um, I felt so inside out today. It wasn't even funny. Like my brain was just flipped out, you know. Um, but I encourage targets to, take care of their living space, keep it clean. Um, Keep themselves groomed, try to live their life day to day, as best they can, And, oftentimes, targets come to the realization that, maybe someone that they knew is now a part of their targeting, so they have to distance themselves, which is the case in a lot of targets' lives. They find out, okay, this person is a part of my targeting, and they had no idea that that person was at first. And then this person, I refer to these people as devil agents. Um, these people, perps, these devil agent perps. They should be, cut off as soon as possible. And it's hard, for some people, because some people, they're afraid of being alone. You know what I mean? being alone to me, it's like that's like second nature to me. I mean, I've pretty much always been alone, but for some people who are used to having, someone to lean on, it can be very devastating to them, and but it's an eye opener for a lot of people because in this world, I don't care what anybody says. In this world, most people have to walk alone, regardless of what they think they belong to or whatever. Oftentimes, you'll find out who really gives a shit about you in situations like this. Like, I don't know, like about 500 something friends, quote unquote friends, on Facebook. Most of these people I've never met in person. you know, um, I appreciate their connection and some of the groups that I belong in. That it's really great. It's nice to keep up with what they're doing, especially the art projects. Some of these people have amazing talent, but you got to think when the shit hits the fan, where are these people? Where are the people when the shit hits the fan? You know, and that goes for not just people on Facebook. I'm talking about people that claim to give a shit about what really happens to you. That means family, friends, whatever. Where the hell are they? It's like I often refer back to some of the things my dad would say. When I was younger, he would say, you don't have any friends in this world, and I'm like, damn, you're so pessimistic. You're so he had such a bleak look on life. But as I get older, he's right. I mean, most people really aren't there for you. They're not. People like to go out. They like to have lunch. They like to, you know, um, do like social things. But the emotional connection oftentimes is just lacking. So anyway, yeah, I do think that targets should get out and make videos because it's good for them to talk, express themselves. Sometimes just listening to yourself talk, helps, helps to sort out your feelings and what's going on in your mind, You can't expect a normal person off the street, just any random person off the street, or even so-called friends or family, to understand what you're going through. So, I mean, oftentimes, the only person who's going to relate to you is another targeted individual, you know. Um, and I think that so that's not to say targets can't be what do you call it, wishy washy, or they can't flip out and turn against you because um, you give something to a person or offer them certain things, people will turn against you in a second, you know. And a lot of people aren't used to that kind of talk. They're because most people want things to be mellow and flowery and just so like a world where you know there's so much love and everything, which it's the kind of shit that gets pounded in our brains, through fairy tales and TV shows when you're a little kid, especially like shit like Sesame Street and bullshit like that. But the reality is, it's like people are it's just it's an evil world out there, and so you got to be careful, you know. I'm a realist, is what I am. So it's not so much pessimism; it's realistic, But I guess sometimes that comes off pessimistic, but whatever, you know. So anyway, so I'm trying to get myself tired up. I am tired, but like not tired enough to actually fall asleep. Actually, my body feels like I could maybe go for a long walk around the block a couple of times. It's too late right now. I mean, that did never stop me before, but I don't feel like going out of the house right now. I just have excess energy in my body, my head. It's like my head and my body are on two different pages. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know, I was hoping that targets would form some sort of movement, like something that you know somebody wanted me to sign a petition. It's not that I don't see the importance of petitions. It's just that sometimes people don't take. I can't put it in certain people's hands to take action on issues like this. Because um, it's really something that has to be done in the hands of targets themselves, you know. You can't expect other people to care about your issue more than you care about it yourself, you know. That's one of the reasons why I believe in self-sufficiency in a lot of ways, because you know nobody's going to be able to relate to your issues more than yourself, you know. And so you know I've always preferred autonomy in a lot of ways, in just about everything. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes you know you're shortchanging yourself, or what the other person's idea is isn't really doing you any good, and you know sometimes it's just better to forge ahead. But whatever the case is, I mean, obviously there's a need to talk about these issues, and you know, I definitely want to do more. I was a little disappointed in myself today because I wanted to work on my little presentation. I worked on my presentation. I actually got pretty far. I had like 25 pages. And you know what I need to do is I need to modify some of the illustrations that I added. You know, I'm so grateful for Google Images because they have images for just about every single situation. You know, and when I finally do get it done, I will say that don't expect anything great, okay? Because I'm not a graphic artist or anybody who has the skills. I'm just somebody who's very basic who has a message. I'm hoping as time goes on, you know, I'll develop more of an ease with this program. You know, like I said, PowerPoint is so much better. Um, Google Slides. I've worked with Google Slides before, but never got done. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to try to do after I complete this particular project, I'm going to try to upload it to Google Slides and see if it would be easier to transfer it to YouTube that way. I know that you can upload PowerPoint presentations to YouTube, and you can convert the Microsoft, not Microsoft, I'm so sorry, Office Libre, um, what is that? Impress, which is the cheap version of PowerPoint. You can save it as a Microsoft document. So I mean, there's options that I have there, but you know, I'm just trying to work through all this, and I would say that my presentation it looks okay. It looks, you know, it's I would say okay, it's mediocre. Okay, it is because I'm not somebody who knows how to arrange pictures and these sort of things, but practice makes perfect. Okay, and so you got to start somewhere, you know. But I'm actually glad that I'm doing this because and there's a bunch of other topics I want to cover as well. I mean, this was first one's going to be about human trafficking. The next one is going to be about harassment in the workplace, and there's just a shitload of other topics that I want to cover. Everything from like this issue to cults, mind control, everything. You know, I want a huge bunch, like a series of videos, but like right now, this is my particular focus. You know, and I like educating people. I do. I like teaching people. You know, I like explaining things. You know, and a lot of the times, you know, people have never really considered certain things before. You know, like I'm sure a lot of people who got involved in this thought, well, you know, the employer's involved in it and her family's involved in it and therefore it's right. But isn't it surprising to know that it was completely wrong, you know? And so it's about, you know, knowing the difference between right and wrong and that people have rights, you know? And that's pretty much the message that I'm trying to get through. And it's not about trying to be, you know, defiant because I'm not defiant. You can only defy something is if there's some sort of agreement in the first place, and that you know there were expectations being placed on you that you were completely aware of and you agreed to. And then when you deviate from that plan, then you're being defiant. I'm not being defiant, okay? I'm basically somebody who has been sucked into something I didn't ask for, you know, because of my family and whatever. So, um, it's about being law abiding and respecting the rights of other people. And oftentimes people don't even consider the fact that other people have rights. It's just group mentality, running amok. It's basically what it is. So anyway, um, yeah, for other targets, definitely go out and make videos. You know what I mean? Some people make flyers. They distribute those around. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. Going out and the places that you frequent, handing out flyers, talking to people. Some people really, they should get as active as they can in this because it's all about people being aware. You know, and I know that I think target individuals. I was talking about the urinary tract month. Yeah, which would if that's the case, I guess what that would be November 11th, where people could just like walk around with yellow ribbons. But wait, that's already been taken. Yellow ribbons is already taken. Okay, well then it can't. It could be bright yellow. It doesn't have to be bright yellow. It could be like that pale yellow. That is stupid. That is stupid. I do. I have a weird, very strange sense of humor, um, but yeah, there is an awareness month for targeted individuals, and I do know that January is National Stalking Awareness Month, which I did do a video on that. I think back in 2015 or 16. So I've been at these videos for quite a long time, and there are some people, some targets who've made more videos than I have. I think Renata made about over 1,000. This isn't not a competition by any means, but it's all about getting your message out there, you know, and talking about it. And you got to do what you got to do. But I do like the idea of people going out and talking to people, and going out and putting flyers on doors or whatever, and being more engaging, you know what I mean? That's not really necessarily something I plan on doing, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, whatever you can do. If you're not somebody who can make videos, then maybe you can make flyers, you know what I mean? If you don't want to do that, then maybe you could send out broad emails, or you could do something, because this sort of thing should not be happening. It should never happen to any other person again. It really shouldn't. I mean, it is the most psychologically terrifying situation to ever be in. I think in this day and age, to be a targeted individual, um, and um, it's devastating to a person. It is absolutely devastating. So get out there and do what you can. There's all kinds of ways to getting your message across. Whether that be the videos, the flyers, the blast emails, which I do. I when I first started talking about this issue, I do remember making some videos and sending it to my perps. I actually had a pretty decent looking LinkedIn page originally, and I had placed a few articles on LinkedIn, which I thought were really very well written. Unfortunately, I deleted that account, and I kind of regret doing that. Not because I felt like LinkedIn is useful. I would say that LinkedIn is kind of a joke, really, when you really think about it. Only because I think there's such a lack of professionalism that goes on these days, and I think the idea of LinkedIn is good, but unfortunately, just like everything else, people use it for reasons that have nothing to do with what it's actually used for, or what it was originally made for. So, but I did, and I think, posting things like that on LinkedIn is good because, employers need to understand that sort of stuff is wrong. It's completely wrong, you know, and what they think is an administrative task is actually a crime. And my point, like I said before, and I sound like a broken record, it's something they should have known about in the first place. You know what I mean? And so, and I'd like to encourage employers to really look at the because like right now there's a lot of targeted individuals who are unemployed, and they are in a situation that's basically the same thing. They're basically being controlled or manipulated by their families, and they don't have any rights over them. Okay, so a lot of this is unnecessary. So it's up to the target to assert their rights and make them known. Okay, Nobody over the age of 18 should ever have to be, controlled in that manner, and it's illegal, and so that's what I'm trying to let people understand and know. I really would love to do seminars. I would love to do seminars. I really would. I used to think, oh, I don't have the ability to do that because I'm not the kind of person who, can read scripts very well or follow a script. But like I said, if you have like like key points or whatever, then I can just kind of fly with it. So everybody has their own style. I would do great with doing seminars. I really would. No, of course not for a living, but just for like maybe certain projects or whatever. I really have no problem talking about this issue. I don't have a problem talking about it. I think it's something that I really believe in. Just like some people believe in like supporting the what do you call it? Muscular dystrophy. I can't even pronounce that word. Not at this hour. I'm tired, but or some other charitable cause. Some people are really they're firm believers in certain charitable organizations, and I really think that this one really should be looked at more. And it's not for me a desperate plea or grasping for straws for me to gain importance in my life, because really I'm not one of those kind of people. Okay, I don't grasp for shit just so I can find some meaning in my life. I really do think that this is something really very, very important. I mean, it's like the most important issue that I think this country, and of course other countries, are facing today, especially in America, where this should never, ever, ever happen. And so, yeah, I'm really into this issue. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you have a wonderful evening. I said that earlier tonight. I was really determined to just wrap it up for the night, but as I started thinking about that urinary tract, health month, I just thought that was something I need to talk about. I really hate the fact that people try to wipe the silliness out of me. I really do, because what? I have a great sense of humor. Maybe I think my jokes are funny, but that's who I am. You know what I mean? So I'm not interested in trying to be a dry person. I enjoy my little chuckles and my laughs and my corny jokes, and that's okay, because I'm Maria. I'm gonna wrap this video up. Have a wonderful evening.